Right, this is Matt Landis. Take a quick look at the Grandstream GXV3275. Take a look. Of course, the phone comes in the box. Nice, big, colorful box. What are some of the things that comes along? They have a swipe to keep the screen fingerprint free, and a wall mount is included in the box. I don't expect to see a lot of these on the wall, but you've got that along, and a Cat 5 cable, and a power cord. Device is PoE, and they have a power cord in the box there. So that's kind of what's in the box, and that's what you get. So the GXV3275 is an Android device, has a 7-inch touch screen, and it's capacitive touch and 5-point, so it swipes just like an Android phone would. You can see it there. Whoops, pointing there, nice. And of course, we're running Lync 2013 on there. 1024 by 600 screen, and it looks nice. Looks good. But before we drill into the Lync functionality, we'll just go over the Grandstream GXV3275, the phone itself. So one thing you'll notice here, we have a webcam, and in the back there is a little, oh, why don't we show it to you, a little tilt knob. When you turn it, it tilts the camera. So that way you can get the camera positioned. You can select what tilt you want the phone, and incidentally, the phone has a tilt a lot like the new Surface Pro. You can tilt it down pretty much as far. I think that's about as far as you can go. It's not notches, but it is. It's graduated. You can do it as high as you want and at any angle. So back to the camera, you can turn it, you can tilt it. As you notice, I'm turning it up and down. So you can set the camera at the angle you want. If you turn it the whole way back, of course it closes the camera, so it's mechanically hidden. Turn it back there. Of course, we have the touchscreen, no buttons, everything's touch. We do have the volume. We have a home button, which takes you back to the home, which makes a lot of sense. Go back into Lync. Oops, that goes to the dialer. So we have home, we have a menu key, sort of a right-click menu key, and a back button. So let's go to Lync. Sign the back there. Screen's pretty responsive, pretty nice. I think it's nice. And of course, we have the handset there. It calls out that it's HD. Much a handset, like you might see, had a little silver trim there. Of course, the speakerphone's behind the handset. Of course, we talked about wall mount, and it has the little wall mount notch there if you want to use it. So the front, pretty straightforward. Then on the side here, of course, one thing I didn't mention there is the voicemail light. Look in the side here. What we have is a HDMI, so you can plug it into a bigger screen, a headset, 1/4-inch jack, am I saying that right? A SD memory stick, and 2 USB ports. Close that guy up. Okay, so flip it around the back here, and why don't we tilt this thing as high as we can there. So there you see the hinge. You can pretty much make it as tilted as steep or not quite. So I'm going to try to do this one hand. Not quite as, so let's see that's how far you can go down. So it can be, pretty, not the whole way, but pretty tilted. You'll notice one thing, that if you tilt it the whole way down, your Cat 5 cable kind of is going to run into the desk. But it does have rubber on the tilt and the bottom of the phone, so it does set on your phone, or it does set on the desk pretty nice. We can do this all. So looking in the back here, let's get that finished. We have 2 Ethernet cables, and they are gigabit. There's our power and Ethernet gigabit PoE. We have a headset jack there. I guess, yeah, that looks like it would work. Handset, of course, and that's what we have on the back. And on the other side, there is nothing. So now I'll just spin this guy around. And there we've got kind of like a little bit of a tilt. All right, so there we have the chassis, or the plastic. And moving to the software. Of course, it's an Android 4 point something or another. Don't see it offhand here, but 4.2, Android 4.2, and it can run Play Store apps like Lync. So that means we can run Lync on this guy, and I have it installed already. It is in the Grandstream marketplace, so you can install it, but you can also install things from the Google Play Store. So here we have Lync. Pretty much what Android does, this device will do. So why don't we run a couple tests here. I'll make a phone call from my PC over here to the GXV, and you know what? I'm trying to find my contact. Okay, here we have it. All right, so this is an incoming call from. All right, there you see it. Accept. Okay, so now there you just noticed something that. Okay, so now we got off speakerphone. And what you kind of inadvertently noticed is some of the challenge with integrating the handset and the phone, but we'll let that aside. So there we see we have a call. So let's bump this up to, and of course we can do video, so let's bump it up to a video call. So I go start my video. So, see if I get that started. Sure enough. Okay, so now we have a video call going. And of course we can swipe just like on the Android. If you wanted to do an IM, we can type in here. So really, this is, just get this thing out of the way so it doesn't give us feedback. So, you know, I can do IM, and over here we see the IM coming. But really, I'm going to back up here. So, back, swipe back. We have our video again. So, put the call on hold. Not sure if we're going to be sure if we could. Of course, the Android does not have transfer yet, so you don't have the ability to transfer, which is a little bit of a limitation for a desk phone, I would say. Of course, we have the menu button, so you can get the menu items. But really, it's Android on a desk phone-like device. All right, so I think I'll hang up there. And let's go back like that. Okay, so I'm going to just open this up. And there we go. All right, so there you see it, just a real quick. One of the things I noticed, just a couple of things I noticed about it. Overall, nice build. I thought it looked pretty nice. So let's back up here. So now just a couple of things that I think maybe could be improvements. One of the things I noticed, so when I go into voicemail, well, let's start with the biggest thing. I feel like in some ways the Lync client, and this also runs as a SIP phone, but I'm focusing on Lync. But the handset to me doesn't feel very integrated to the Lync experience, and I think Grandstream probably agree with that, and I think they said they are doing some work on it. So like when I pick the phone up, you'll notice that this dialer comes up. The handset and Lync are not super integrated. Now, this dialer is integrated in that if I dial, it will dial the number. So let's say I happen to be, here, and I pick the handset up. Well, now it gives me the dialer. I can dial. The only problem is when I'm in Lync, if I pick the handset up, it does exactly the same thing. So not quite the experience you want. Really, when you pick up the phone, you want it to answer in Lync, but you really have to answer by clicking the accept. So handset, Lync, not perfectly integrated. Another thing is the voicemail button. Not the biggest thing, but the voicemail waiting indicator does not integrate with Lync. I know Grandstream says they're working on some things. I forget which they are and which they aren't. Another thing that I thought about, so you're in here and you want to listen to a voicemail, but you can't, it has to call you back. It can't just play it on the speakerphone. I'm not exactly sure why that's not integrated. So those three things I would say. Handset, the phone hardware integration to Lync. If you do things on the screen, everything's good. But if you use the handset, it feels a little disintegrated.
disintegrated. That's sort of. But overall, good build quality. If Grandstream does a little work on that, I think they have an interesting. I know the biggest challenge is integrating the hardware with Lync, but it runs Lync, seems to run it fine, and you have only the limitations of the Android client for Lync. So, very interesting device, Grandstream GXV3275. There you have it.